Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Sunday service here at Brighton Unitarian Church. To those of you that join us for the first time, we extend a special welcome. And also to those who will be joining us online at a later date. BUC has been a place of worship for over 200 years. Started by 19 dissenters, it has been a place to question, to discuss, disagree, to pray, but overall a place to be together for the mystery that some of us call God to enter our hearts and our minds and our souls. So let us come together with our similarities and our differences to give ourselves the spiritual nourishment that we seek. We light our chalice, a symbol of our free religious faith. At this hour, in towns and cities, in rooms, in sanctuaries, in churches and chapels, many Unitarians come together to light their chalice. As we light ours today, let us remember that we are part of a greater community. May this flame inspire us to fill our lives with love and justice and truth. We reaffirm this liberal religion. We share the love, which is ultimately beyond even our cherished reason. The love and community that lights us all. So I invite you to come together in prayer. I use the word God. I invite you to use whatever is resonant to you. And these are words by Tandy Rogers. God, known by many names, be with us now, surround us, pull us together and push us forward. We give thanks for this day, this opportunity to be together, to laugh, to learn, to play, to reflect. May this time nourish us all. We call in these prayers those who've come before us, those who've created a space here for us to come together. May we build on those foundations. Be with us here today. Give us a vision to dream beyond ourselves. Give us the humility to see our shortcomings as a place to begin and grow. And give us the courage to send love and compassion out beyond these doors into our community and the greater world. Amen and blessed be. We sing our first hymn this morning, and it's number 20 in the Purple Book. My apologies for those of you that can read music. I meant to tell you before we started that hymn that we're singing the words to a different song, and that will be also to the next hymn as well. This morning we open our hearts and minds to two sacred religious observances, Lent and Ramadan. Some of you here may have practiced one or the other. Some of you may have a deep knowledge of both, and others not. I invite you to be here in this service with an open mind, and perhaps even a beginner's mind. Our two readings this morning mark the start of our adventure into these two faiths. The first is from Matthew chapter 4, 1 to 11, and is read by Michael.
Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. After fasting 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry. The tempter came to him and said, "If you are the Son of God, tell these stones to become bread." Jesus answered, "It is written, man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God." Then the devil took him to a holy city and had him stand on the highest point of the temple. "If you are the Son of God," he said, "throw yourself down, for it is written, 'He will command his angels concerning you, and they will lift you up in their hands, so that you will not strike your foot against a stone.'" Jesus answered him, "It is also written, 'Do not put the Lord your God to test.'" Again, the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their splendor. "All this I will give to you," he said, "if you will bow down and worship me." Jesus said to him, "Away from me, Satan, for it is written, 'Worship the Lord your God and serve him only.'" Then the devil left him, and the angels came and attended to him.
Thank you, Michael. Our second reading is from the Quran and this passage of Surat Al-Baqarah, and the verses are 183 to 187 and is read by Saul.
Believers, fasting is prescribed for you as it were prescribed for those before you, so that you become mindful of Allah. Fast for a fixed number of days, but if any of you is ill or traveling, then let them fast for an equivalent number of days later. Those who are unable to fast must pay compensation if they can afford it to feed a needy person. The one who gives more voluntarily is rewarded, but to fast would be better for you if you knew. The Quran was revealed in the month of Ramadan. The Quran is guidance for people, full of clear teachings that help to distinguish right from wrong. Whoever is present in the month must fast in it, but if anyone is ill or traveling, then let them fast an equivalent number of days later. Allah wants what is easy for you, not what is difficult, and that you complete the compulsory number of fasts. So glorify Allah for guiding you and become thankful. When my servants ask you about me, tell them that I am near. I answer the prayer of the prayerful whenever they pray to me. So they should obey me and believe in me, so they may be guided.
Thank you, Saul. From the mouth of the cave of Mount Hira, Muhammad could see the moon and countless stars hovering in the firmament above. He was an illiterate merchant, 40 years of age, a descendant of Ishmael. He was an honest man who had been orphaned at a tender age, hailing from a city filled to the brim with greedy and depraved idol worshippers, Mecca. It was to the caves that Muhammad periodically withdrew for several weeks at a time to contemplate the ways of the true God in solitude. It was on a particular night, called the Night of Power, that the earliest verses of the Quran were said to have been revealed to him by the angel Jibril, the words we heard earlier in the reading from Saul. Within these vital words, he learnt the core principles of a faith that are continued today. Of course, he wasn't told everything in one night, but the teaching started on that night, which became Ramadan. He came to learn more about the 5 pillars of that faith. For many, Lent is one of the most enduring seasons in the Christian calendar. Fasting, repentance, reflection, self-discipline and prayer. The observance varies among many, but there is a fundamental purpose. Lent mirrors 40 days of Jesus' fasting and resisting temptation in the wilderness before he began his ministry, as we heard in the reading. Following his baptism, he was led by the Spirit into the desert to prepare for his ministry. He fasted for 40 days and 40 nights and was tempted 3 times. Fasting is not so uppermost in the Christian calendar. Most who follow that faith are asked to fast on Ash Wednesday and Good Friday, and an act of giving something up. As the centuries passed, fasting became less and less important. Let us sing again the hymn 130 in the Green Book. For those who follow the music, we're singing it to the tune of 308, but we're going to sing the words of 130. We come now to a time of reflection, a time of silence, of going inward. As Unitarians, as seekers, maybe as newcomers here, agnostics, atheists, free thinkers, those with faith and those with none. We are gathered in this sacred holy space to drink from the well of silence and reflection. We'll sit for a few moments in silence and then we'll hear some music. Let us come together in prayer. We ask to be guided back to the here and now. Sustain us and release our need to distract ourselves with things which do not nourish or numb us. We ask to save this world with the gift of our senses, so that each day we look for the beauty. Let us relish the meals that we have, the fragrance of the flowers, and let us embrace our lives, even when our intention wanders. We give thanks for the freedom that we have to come here, believe and worship freely. We offer our prayers to other communities and faiths, especially at this time. May we have the courage to see anew and be teachable in a new way. May it be so. We take our collection now. If you have something that you would like to offer, we would gratefully receive it, whether it's through the collection now or through payment by card after the service. But I say this always, that your presence here is more than a gift. Thank you. I'm not sure if it's the heating in here or the coffee that I had earlier, but I'm starting to overheat. So, Wednesday marked a joyful connection between Christians and Muslims, which only happens every 30 years or so, the start of Ramadan and Lent falling on the same day. They rarely coincide. And yet, the similarities of the intention of prayer, maybe some fasting, and going inward. Sheikh Dr. Umar Al-Qadri has been a vocal advocate about integration and cooperation among communities. He described the beginning of Lent and Ramadan on the same day as a beautiful coincidence. Although the faiths in some ways are different, the intentions are the same. He talked about the emphasis on the commonalities rather than differences. I wasn't expecting to be so emotional on Wednesday. I went to an Ash service in Lewes. There was part of me that continues to struggle with my own presence there, and yet the overriding compulsion was that of being in communion. Not literally, but with millions of others across the globe who are marking the start of a journey. And I imagine that some of us here have had a challenging journey, maybe with Christianity, maybe with other faiths. And yet there's some sort of draw, a line that marks in the sand to begin that going inward. I know several Unitarians who fast during Lent, and they were very excited that the days ran concurrently. I've also been reading about a former Muslim who's now a Catholic, who embraced traditional things in Christian Lent of reading the Bible text daily, praying, and also fasting. What he did say was that Christianity's way of fasting is so much easier. What is true to say is both traditions are steeped in history. These times invite people to recommit to their faith on a deeper level. Here are some reflections of people that I know. Heidi is a Unitarian. The first time I learned about Ramadan, I thought to myself, wow, that's incredibly admirable, but I would never do that. I was at an event in the SOAS University and I listened to Muslim scholars describe their experience of fasting. I had an inner prompting to attempt the whole month. I tried to ignore the feeling, but it got stronger. So, despite myself, I woke up at 3:30 the next morning to begin my first fast. It was perhaps the most spiritual, insightful, and self-reflective, productive month of my life. Cassandra, a Methodist, is heavily involved in the interfaith community. Her first experience of trying to fast for 24 hours in her Christian tradition for Good Friday while working in a chocolate store all day, she described as not a very good idea. But she did then go on to fast for Ramadan. I think that just because I became more clear in myself, I didn't know many Christians that fasted regularly, so to able to join my Muslim friends is something that I really enjoyed. I felt I was part of something bigger. Lauren, a convert to Islam, she was previously an atheist. Every time I do it, I always feel like it's the first time. I'm now just starting to explore the deeper meaning of connecting with God. It reminds me what I'm capable of. I can fast. I can control myself. I have the capacity to have so much more control over my life. There's some of reflections of people that I know. Last year, I ran, and some of you were there, I ran a group. It was entitled The Wilderness, and it ran over Lent. I was due to run a 6-week course this year, and it was entitled Feeding Our Hungers. It didn't run, and someone came to me and said, I think I know why. It's because it had the word Lent in it. Maybe next year I just won't mention that. But it left me wondering, how do we as Unitarians gain a deeper understanding of the God within us and around us? And when we hear about Ramadan and Lent, do we feel prickly, uncomfortable, curious? Not doing that. Or are some of us reflecting and thinking, I wish we had something like that? In the book, A Different Kind of Fast by Christine Painter, she talks about Lent in a different way. She talks about this feeding our true hungers, our hungers to connect with our spiritual path. And what are the habits that we have that distract us from our true hunger? We all know them. Multitasking, inattention, that thing, the news, whatever it is. It takes us away from being in the now. So is there a possibility that we can be beginners again? Set aside our prickliness and uncomfortableness and maybe revisit perhaps our old faith, or think about those Christians who are trying to give something up, trying to pray a little bit more, our Muslim friends who are now fasting until sunset. In the wilderness, Jesus was confronted with himself and the temptations of the devil. We are confronted by these every day. Facebook Marketplace, Vinted, etc., etc. Some of my Muslim friends told me that they're tempted all the time. The first few days, they said, are really difficult. Then you get into some sort of routine. And then the last 7 or so days are excruciating because you are hungry. And everything in the shops is like beaming. Eat me. But of course, fasting is not just in the Muslim and the Christian faith. It's in so many monastic practices. It's believed to help achieve mental clarity. It's an opportunity to step outside our ordinary life. Some of you here may have decided to give something up for Lent. I'm wondering how you're doing. Day 5. Some of us, it bears no connection whatsoever. Some of us, it stirs difficulties from our own faith traditions from the past. But what if we thought about this time of Ramadan and Lent, as a space, rather than the pressures to give something up and succeed? Maybe it's about coming to and going inward. I know for myself, my journey of Lent has been an interesting one. I turned my back on it when I was a teenager. But those practices in traditions always left me feeling curious. I was very fortunate a few years ago to be invited to a mosque for the beginning of Ramadan, and it brought me to tears, as the call to prayer often brings me to tears. That sense of community, that sense of support and people doing things together. So where does that leave us? You may leave this church this morning going, oh, didn't want to hear about any of that. That's okay. You may leave a little bit curious. You may think, what can I do? Maybe during this time, we can look at the principles of being a Unitarian and reflect on those. The inherent worth and dignity of every person. That in itself could be a 30 or 40-day reflection, for starters. A free and responsible search for truth and meaning. An acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations. Maybe we can set aside our own feelings. Maybe during this time of Lent and Ramadan, we can take the calling inwards. So how do you do that if you're an atheist? And I know I have atheists in this congregation. You are so welcome. Vlad Chituk is a lab manager and a research associate. He studies human behavior, eats mostly plants, loves dogs, and is an atheist. He has this to say: "It bothers me when other atheists are too quick to do away with the beauty of religion, to toss it all. Can we distinguish the form from the content? Can we distinguish the form from the content? We may not agree with the content of either the Muslim or the Christian faith, but the form, what is the form bringing? That sense of community." He goes on to say, is it a bit irreverent and patronising to pick bits and bobs? Well, yes, he says. But that's as good a reason to practice Lent as I can think of. And maybe you're approaching this time of year completely exhausted. When will the rain ever stop? I'm being the sunshine this morning. I'm bringing the sun. The last thing you want to do is put another thing on your list to give up, to attend to. So I offer you these words from Alula Bandele. She says, Lent can be a gentle invitation to return to God with honesty and emptiness. It's just a time of quiet return. Many of us here carry full lives, full minds, full hearts, work pressure, emotional fatigue. Maybe quiet disappointments that we don't have the language for. So maybe when Lent and Ramadan came calling at the door, maybe it's not about what should I give up. Maybe it's about what do I do when I have nothing left to offer. Lent and Ramadan don't require me to arrive full. They welcome us empty. So maybe in these weeks leading to Easter and Ifatia, we can create a space for ourselves. And not to think of these times as deprivation, but as a return. A return to God's voice, whatever that means for you. A return to grace. She says, Lent doesn't demand strength, it welcomes honesty. You don't need a dramatic plan or a public declaration, yeah, that's right, a public declaration of what you're giving up. Maybe you show up empty, willing to be filled again with God's grace. May it be so. Our final hymn is number 30 in the Purple Book. It's an interesting tune, would that be correct to say? We're going to sing verses 1, 2 and 4, but we're going to have it played twice through in the vain hope that we might get a grip on it. The words meet the music, so that makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah, page 3, hymn number 30, it's the same music and the same words, but we're going to do 1, 2 and 4, but you're going to play it twice through first? Okay, great. I heard little, I was about a line behind, never mind. So I have two blessings to end. One is from the Christian tradition and one is from the Muslim tradition. Dear Holy One, mark us for all to see that we are connected by immortality, impermanence, ashes, dust. This is the truth of being human. Remind us that this truth is what connects us. Remind us also that from love we come and to love we will return. You bathe me in your moonlight as I kiss the ground in gratitude for you. The neighborhood is still. The dreamers lost in the movies of their minds have no knowledge of the dawn, of the silver of light that glares towards us, reminding us that hope resides in prayer. My body returns, my heart remembers. Ramadan and Lent, never forgotten, entice me back to love. And I am home once again. May it be so.
Thank you, Jennifer, for weaving Ramadan and Lent together and giving us different ways to engage with those traditions. Thank you. And Zoe, thank you for that lively ending and for playing for us, Stuart for setting up, and Fiona, who's gone to make our tea and coffee. Just to echo what Jennifer said earlier, if you wish to give to our collection by card. There's a card reader over there with instructions, and that would be wonderful. At 12:45 today, so after our tea and coffee, Stuart will be leading a session of the irregular choir, and it's more about making sounds and exploring your voice than singing as a traditional choir. It's great fun, so please do stay for that. We still need a volunteer to serve tea and coffee on the 8th of March. We're okay for next Sunday, but the Sunday after the 8th of March. So the rotary is over there by the red canister, or speak to Fanny, and that would be really appreciated. Right, going through the week, Wednesday at 12:15, music and quiet reflection in the church, led by Jennifer, and the details of the timings are up on the board. Again on Wednesday, but at 7:30 in the evening, is our online Zoom offering of Heart and Soul, an hour of gentle coming together and reflecting and exploring various themes. If you're not on the contact list, just have a word with me afterwards and we can set you up. Friday lunchtime concert is, oh, I don't know, but whatever it is, it'll be good. I've only got March.
I think, I've got a feeling that it is this, I've got a feeling it's tabla playing, I think.
How exciting. There must be a poster up on the board outside. But
Can you thank Mike and Sol for reading?
yeah. And Jennifer's just reminded me to thank Saul and Mike for reading today. It was lovely. Thank you both. For the solstice service, which is on the 22nd of March, we want our little Hail Guest choir to sing a couple of songs during the service. If you're interested in participating, is there a list of rehearsal dates up there? Maybe not, but have a word with Lucy. There.
I can't remember the rehearsal.
Yeah, there's about 3 rehearsal dates, 1 on a Sunday, 2 on a Thursday evening, I believe, but enough for us all to be able to be free for one of them, at least. 15th, 19th and 22nd of March, and probably a panicked half hour before the actual service. Okie doke. Next Sunday, our service will be led by Interfaith Minister and our member, Susie. If you were expecting Jim Corrigal, unfortunately, he can't make that date, so Susie's stepped in instead. We're very grateful. After that Sunday service, next week at 12:30, will be the third congregation conversation about the future. We've had 2 meetings talking about ideas and strategies and actions for the future. And this particular conversation, which will be led by Jennifer, will be about setting our priorities, what we want to concentrate on first for our church. 12:30 till about 2:30. It won't go on longer than that because we'll all be tired and exhausted by then. So very important. So please come, bring a sandwich or something to keep you going, and join us next Sunday at 12:30 after Susie's service. I think that's it. Yes, so please join us now for tea and coffee conversation, and yeah, that would be lovely. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Jess.